Hello everyone, welcome back to Brainy Genius. Today we're going to be talking about the production possibility curve. So, a PPC curve or production possibility curve is a model that illustrates scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. So, we already discussed scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost in a different video. So, it shows the maximum combinations of two goods that an economy can produce with existing resources and technology. So, usually these two combinations are capital goods and consumer goods. So these two goods are usually what is on the y-axis and the x-axis of a PPC curve. So this is an example of a PPC curve. So from this, we can see that there is both capital and consumer goods. This doesn't necessarily have to be capital and consumer goods. It could be different goods, such as wine or apples. But this is how the basic PPC curve looks like. As you can see, I have plotted 3 points on the curve. So let's talk about point A. Point A actually means inefficiency. From this, we can see that the point A is underneath the curve and it's not meeting the curve. It's inside this area. So this actually means that the firm or producer is not utilizing their resources and technology efficiently, and maximum output is not produced. Point B, on the other hand, means unattainable. This means that the goal is too high. You can't go above the PPC curve without the factors increasing. So if the point is above the PPC curve, then it is unattainable as they do not have enough resources and technology to produce this much output. Finally, let's talk about point C. So point C actually just means that maximum output is produced. So this could be at any point on the PPC curve, but it has to be on the curve, on the line itself. So maximum output using all the resources and technology is produced. This is an example of how your PPC graphs will look like in your exams. So let's just say there is zero consumer goods. If there are zero consumer goods, there is a maximum of 20 capital goods that can be produced. However, if there is zero capital goods, then a maximum of 12 consumer goods can be produced with existing resources and technology. So let's say a firm initially produced 6 capital goods, but however, they want to produce 13 capital goods instead of 6. So their initial value of capital goods is 6 and final value of capital goods is 13. When they increase this production of capital goods, there is an increase of 7. Like normal mathematics, if we do that, we can understand. However, as you can see, the point is moved from here to here. It reduces, it moves to the left. When this happens, less consumer goods can be produced. So it moves from 10 consumer goods to 8 consumer goods. So there is negative 2 consumer goods. So this will be the opportunity cost of producing 13 capital goods instead of 6. However, if their initial value was 13 and their final value, they want to change it to 6. Let's just say that. So they are decreasing the value from 13 to 6. There will be a decrease of negative 7. We know that. So we can say that the point will move to the right from this point to this point. So from this, there will be opposite. This will be an opposite reaction to what we just explained just now. So it will move from 8 to 10. This is why I've drawn the purple lines to indicate the movements a bit better. Now that we understand what the movements of a PPC graph is, which is just now we explained that the 6 to 13 and 13 to 6 of the movement of capital goods. So now let's talk about the shiftments. So shiftment is actually very different from the movements in a PPC graph. Shiftment means this main PPC curve moves either to the left or to the right. Boom. Okay, let's say that the PPC graph moved inwards towards the red line. So the original line is the green line and the new line is the red line. So the red line actually means that there is a decrease in the production. So when there is a decrease in production, then the curve will shift inwards. So a decrease in production could be because of decrease in labor or decrease in efficiency. It could be any of this. So whenever they give you a question and you think that, oh, this will cause a decrease in its production, then the curve will shift inwards. However, if, like seen in here, if the PPC curve moves outwards, then there is an increase in production. So this could be because of either an increase in labor or increase in efficiency of technology and much, much more, or increase in resources. So if in a question they say, example, oh, Coca-Cola employs more workers in their factories, then this means that their production increases as well, which means that this curve will move outwards. So this is just the basic gist of shipment. So when a PPC curve from the green line, it moves to the blue line, then it means that it shifts outward. However, if it moves from the green line to the red line, then it moves inward. This could be due to technology, labor, and resources, and different variables or factors. But why is a PPC curve actually bowed out? So PPC curves actually represents the law of diminishing returns and opportunity cost as well. At first, adding additional resources for production has less impact at a certain point. This means at the beginning of the graph, the PPC curve is less bowed out. However, as you progress through the graph, the PPC curve is more bowed out as added output gains that gradually diminishes. Thank you, and I hope you understood something or something more about PPC curves. Subscribe!